Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of you on this President's Day. For everybody who joins live, today is the last day of a long weekend for some of us, anyhow. But, we do our best to have this broadcast every Monday, no matter what the day is. And for any of you who are joining in after the fact, welcome to you too. A lot of folks are not able to join in with the live stream, but of course, we're happy however you're able to join. I spent this weekend at home in Baltimore with my family, specifically going to visit my mother. And I talk about her a lot and wanted to share my inspiration for today comes from her, as it very often does. But I want to share a bit with you about mindset. And that's why I thought it was important to talk about practicing gratitude. This is one of the most frequent things that I remember my mother talking about as my sisters and I were growing up. And if you have a gratitude mindset, whatever is going on in your life will be a little bit sweeter. Your perspective can easily change from whatever it may have been, especially if there may have been a sense of lack or uh, anything that might diminish you, make you afraid, give you pause. Shifting your attitude to that of being grateful for wherever you are, whatever is happening in your life, whatever you have, can make all the difference in the world. And this is the way my mother lives. So now I would call a very tender time for her. In her 95th year, her body isn't as kind to her as we would like for it to be. She's just been tender, frail. And so I am going to see her as often as I can, which is why we went down this weekend. Over the past week, as I've talked to her each day, she has not had a lot of energy. She has just not been as communicative as she often is. And yet, being in her company, even without much energy, she brightens up and calls forth the spirit of gratitude for the moment. And watching this is just a beautiful thing to see, that it's taking a lot for her to muster the energy literally to open her eyes and look at us. And she will open her eyes, and that winning smile that I've inherited from her will shine on her face. And I know when I see it, it took a lot for her to call it forth. And yet it was genuine because she was really happy that we were there. She was happy that I could hold her hand. Um, she always has had cool hands, and I used to, not anymore. Now my hands are really warm. So I was holding her hand, and she said, "Your hands are warm." I said, "Yeah." So I'm going to hold your hands and make them warm like mine. I told her. Hi, Mila. Hello, Mila. Thank you for joining, and thank you to all of you who are here today. Thank you for joining this broadcast. But she was grateful that I could hold her hand and put my warmth next to her coolness and help her to be warm. It doesn't matter what it was. She was grateful. And she told me a year or so ago that she's making the most of what she has left. And, this was when she was 93 or 94. Most people don't get anywhere close to that. But of course, for many, not all, there's a diminishment in one's physicality, sometimes the mind. She obviously knew then, as she knows now, that she has less time left than what she has behind. But she's making every bit of that time count to the very best of her ability. Do you do that? Think of it. Do you tell yourself, deep in your spirit that you are grateful for whatever experience you're having right now, that you are grateful for some little measure of goodness that is occurring, even if you're in the midst of a lot of challenge, do you pause and say, "Thank you. Thank you for this moment, for this little thing," whatever it might be, for your daughter holding your hand, or whatever it is. What as you look around in your life, do you practice gratitude? Do you say thank you? Do you acknowledge whatever goodness is before you? And I think a lot of times we don't. A lot of times when there's a lot of stress, when there is this sense of lack, something that we need, we don't have, or something we need more of, and we feel that we don't have enough of. At times like that, we often start pointing our fingers and feeling like somebody owes us something, life is not fair, why me, all of those kinds of things. I see my friends joining in. Good morning, Daryl Tillman. Good morning, Epperson. Good morning. Thank you for being here with me. We're talking about gratitude, and the people that I know who I just mentioned, oh boy, these are folks who practice gratitude. My friend Epperson just did an exquisite fashion show in a church. And the music, the movement, the models, it was all, I mean, it was in a church in a holy space. And obviously, gratitude was sort of poured into the whole experience. But I'm mentioning this for a reason. When you consciously bring gratitude into your work, offer thanks for the opportunity to create, and then everybody who you include in your work, you consciously offer love and support and gratitude and direction, amazing things happen. And this is something, again, it starts with my family, I learned that, but also who do you surround yourself with? When you surround yourself with people who are practicing gratitude, who are choosing to be kind and thoughtful and create space for others to share their creativity, amazing things happen. And all of us, even people who do that consciously, have moments when we have fear, have moments when we worry, do we have enough? Is it going to work? I've been working at this thing for so long. Why is it so hard? Why me? If you tell yourself the truth, you know. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't have those moments if they're telling the truth. I certainly have them. I have them, and when I live my practice of counting my blessings. This was the other thing when I was a little girl, my mother said we complained about something. No, 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 girls, count your blessings. Let's do it right now. And she would have us say out loud what we were grateful for. Like, are you grateful you woke up this morning? Yes, mommy. So say it. Are you grateful you had breakfast? Yes, mommy. Are you grateful that you have something to put on your body to wear so you could go outside? Yes, mommy. And I mean, the littlest of things like that, which are very important, the basics of life. But then, are you grateful for your family? Are you grateful for your friends? Are you grateful that you can put food in your mouth? Are you grateful that you can help other people? Part of the circle of gratitude, as I have learned it anyhow, is ensuring that you are including others in your offering. See, sometimes, especially when people feel lack, they feel like they have to hold on to everything and not share. But if you go back and look at any culture, at the people who have the most modest lives, who don't have a lot, who don't have a lot of money, who don't have a lot of space, who don't, whatever a lot is, they don't have it. You will often hear there's always room for one more person at the table. There's always another spoonful of soup. If that person doesn't have any food, welcome them in. There's always enough to share. And when you have that attitude of abundance, the fundamental belief that there is enough for everyone, then there's enough for you too. You can shift your attitude to you can breathe better. Literally, you can give yourself the space to take a deeper breath because you believe there's enough oxygen for you and everybody else. But literally, there are people who feel like there's not enough, so they have to take, 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 take. And when you do that, when you take and believe that what that person has should be yours, that's when we have trouble. That's when we have a lack of equilibrium because we don't look at the world as a space where we can all be together. We can all, even if we're not together, so to speak, we're all there. There's enough for you and you and you and me. And practicing gratitude helps you to realign yourself with the potential for complete abundance. I think that it takes a lot of faith to believe this, especially when times are tight. And the times we're in right now, where forces much greater than us are actively trying to take away many gains that we have worked hard to put in place to help people to be able to breathe, to feel safe, to have access to abundance. The fact that right this minute, there are forces trying to take that away makes it hard. And a lot of people are feeling tender. A lot of people are feeling afraid. A lot of people are experiencing lack. There was work, there is no more work. There were this many resources, it has shrunk. Real things are happening. So it's not just a psychic thing, a spiritual thing. For many, many thousands of people, business owners, myself included, there is a shrinking that is occurring at the moment because of what's happening on a larger scale. And what I have seen is that when the shrinking occurs, people get bitter and fear steps in and then they start holding on tight. No, I have to cling to mine. That belongs to me. Resist the temptation to do that. When you start feeling that way, make a gratitude list. Breathe. Remind yourself that you don't have to get caught up in that swirl of negativity that is dangerous for the world. It's dangerous for our culture. I was at an event where Angela Davis spoke a few weeks ago. It was so incredibly powerful. And one of the things that she talked about was the danger of individualism and the power of individuality and how those two are different. Individuality, I talk about this a lot, tapping into the greatness of you, what makes you who you are, what makes you unique. How can you cultivate those things that define you as you? All of the experiences and relationships and legacy that have been poured into you as yourself that make you uniquely you, that's individuality. But individualism is, I'm just going to get mine later for you. The world revolves around me. I don't care about you. You are not as important as I am. It's about the individual getting whatever I can get, regardless of you. Angela Davis talked about how dangerous that is and how in the fight for caring for other people, where we do often need to be warriors for culture and community, she said, it doesn't work if you think you're doing it on your own because we get tired standing up for what's right, especially in the face of others who are trying to tear us down. But she said, if you realize you're part of community, it's not one, it's community working on these things. You can rest while somebody else takes your place. The community can grow, stay strong, can get stronger, can grow, can be there to support the whole community if you work as a community. But if you think you're on your own, then you can use all your energy, wither and go. She talked about community and culture as being primary in saving the planet, in saving our people, in caring for each other and looking out for each other, which I thought was very clear and simple and insightful. And do we do that? Because we live in a culture where it's all about me. And that runs counterintuitively to most of the spiritual literature of the world that we're supposed to work together, arm in arm, heart to heart. And it can be difficult to do that when the messaging says otherwise. We live in a culture that has so much messaging about how to get yours, uh, how can you be the best in comparison to somebody else? And we need to turn it off sometimes. Turn it off, go inside, look inside, tap into the divinity within ourselves. Shut out the noise, right? Shut out the noise. Look, we've got a lot of folks chiming in. Let me say hello. Oh, here's Sandra back from London. We were talking about the fact that you joined us from London. Please tell some of your friends in London about us. And by the way, since folks are writing in the chat box, write in there and tell me where are you tuning in from? I'd love to know that. Let's see who else is here. We have Blossomond 22. Good morning. New York Steaks community. The folks writing in from all over. Tell me where you're writing in from. I'd love to know uh, where what is the circle of our community today at this moment. That'd be nice to know. So let's go to our quote. I always have fun looking for quotes to kind of capture the sense of what we're talking about. Let's go to the quote and also remind folks if you would like to join the conversation, harrietcole.com/inspiration. You're welcome to come on screen and talk to me. So the quote for today is gratitude is one of the strongest and most transformative states of being. It shifts your perspective from lack to abundance and allows you to focus on the good in your life, which in turn pulls more goodness into your reality. All right, let me tell you that again. Gratitude is one of the strongest and most transformative states of being. It shifts your perspective from lack to abundance and allows you to focus on the good in your life, which in turn pulls more goodness into your reality. And that's from Jen Sincero. Basically, that's what my mother said, right? I like to find these quotes from all over the place, but that is exactly what she's talking about. Practicing gratitude can literally shift your state of being. Isn't that powerful? You do not have to take medicine. You do not have to take, some painkiller. You do not have to anesthetize yourself through whatever it is you commonly do. You can turn inside and say, thank you. Say, thank you for all the greatness in my life right now. Thank you for this. If you can only find one thing, say, thank you for it. Thank you. Thank you. When you practice gratitude, you can relax your shoulders a little bit more. It shifts your state of being. It helps you to look through a kinder, softer gaze. It really works. Jen says, gratitude is one of the strongest and most transformative states of being. Think of it's strong. Gratitude is strong. Now, a lot of times people think, oh, I have to be tough. I can't say thank you. I have to be the one, I have to be tough. This says gratitude is one of the strongest and most transformative states of being. Transformative. It has the ability to transform how you see the world, how you inhabit your body. It shifts your perspective from lack to abundance. Okay, look at this for a second, because I know this is a battle I have all the time. It just to be real specific. So in my business, when COVID happened first, when the pandemic hit, I went from X amount of dollars to 99% of my business shut down when COVID hit because I was coaching people and going to them all over the country. So suddenly there was nothing. And I was like, ooh, what do I do? But I practiced gratitude and I had my eyes open and I welcomed abundance and worked really hard. And then things shifted and there was more abundance for 2 years than there had been in a long time, and we were able to do a lot of things. And then there was a shift, and a lot of this has to do with DEI, by the way, even though I wasn't necessarily conscious of it at the time. There was just more work. And then that shift changed again. In the past 2 years, it has shifted and it has shrunk some, and I know that this is true for a lot of people, probably a lot of you who are gathered here with me today, which is why I'm saying it. This year, tough, tight, tough. But so that struggle of a little bit of worry, a lot of planning, uh, contraction, faith. These things are things that are going on inside of me, and in my spiritual practice, I have been very conscious of practicing abundance, of welcoming abundance. Because if you don't welcome it, if you don't create space for it, it's not going to come. You can just sit there and worry. In one of my books, a quote of mine was, "Don't worry, make a plan." Worrying does nothing but keeps you stuck. Make a plan. So let me tell you, folks are writing in. Thank you for doing so. Um, okay, we've got April from Detroit. We've got Renee from Michigan. We've got New York Steaks from Mount Vernon. Let's see. We've got Daryl's in Brooklyn. Where are folks call oh, and Sandra says, "Ah, I managed to catch your live in between seeing my facial clients. I love it." My niece, Corey Morgan, has is an esthetician. She's got a business doing that and some other folks too. Let's see. Blossom says it's a sacred truth. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for writing. And you can still write in and tell us where you are. And also, if you'd like to join the conversation, you can go to harrietcole.com/inspiration and come on and talk about what gratitude means to you. You're welcome to do that if you'd like. I'm telling you a little bit about what's happening for me because I want you to get this granular with yourself. What are you going through now? What are you wrestling with? What is giving you fear? What is giving you contraction? Tell yourself the truth about that. But then put it on your altar and ask God to help you to not have that as a burden and help you see how you can have a shift in focus and you can change your reality. You can. You can. It has happened for me so many times that something wasn't going the way I wanted it to through meditation, through focus, through accessing that belief in the greatness in me and those around me, and being kind and clear and hopeful and active because you have to work at it. Whatever the whatever is contracting can open up. And practicing gratitude is a huge part of it. And for anybody who may think, yeah, right, but I'm dealing with real stuff. Me too. I'm telling you, it works. It really, really, truly works. I it's it seems like it's in the air. What are you talking about? I know sometimes people say that. What are you talking about, Harriet? I'm talking about real stuff. Me too. Let's see. Blossom Mind says, anytime I truly count anytime I truly count the blessings of my life that I've neglected, I cry because I have been so blessed. Yes. Let me tell you something. I'm on the board of a wonderful charity called Prasad that's headquartered in India. And a few years ago when I was there, we went to see our programs, but we also visited some temples and, places of worship. So one of them, when this is out in the country in a very rural area, very modest rural area, we had to climb up these stone steps way up high to the top of this hill to go to this space of worship. And you do that with your shoes off. So it was extremely hot, you know, probably 85, 90 degrees. I don't remember. It was hot. And this steps, these stone steps, I don't know how old this place is, but it's really old. And the stone steps many of them were broken. So they're little pebbles and things, all kinds of stuff all over the place, all over the ground. And as I'm tenderly making my way up these steps, my regularly pedicured feet were in pain. These little stones were, clicking into my feet. It was very uncomfortable. And I got there. I did not complain. You get to the top, and there was this magnificent view. And because so many people have gone there to worship, you feel the spirit of greatness of God in this space. So you really feel it. Anybody who's been to a high holy place, you know what I'm talking about. You feel it. And then I tenderly came down. We're traveling around, and I noticed that many people in this area wear no shoes. If they're walking on an unpaved road with no shoes, it's because they don't have shoes. And I left there with many insights, but this particular story that I'm talking about now was just the gratitude that I have for the closet full of shoes that I have, for the ability to get a pedicure, even though I wish that my soles of my feet had been tougher in that moment. The the luxury that many of us experience, even if you feel like you don't have what you need comparatively, many of us live in pure luxury. And to walk those steps and to understand the luxury that I have in my life that, sometimes we take whatever we do for granted, it was very humbling. And it also just gave me a different sense of perspective. And I was filled with gratitude. Perspective. So, what do you have? What do you need? What can you share with others? The more you share with others, the more space you create for abundance. Uh, create space for that. And if you hold on to everything, there's no space for abundance. If you practice gratitude and share what you have, others benefit and you create this beautiful opening so that whatever you need is welcome to come in. It's an interesting thing how it works. Again, I go back to my mother. She is grateful for the moment she's in. She rallies to offer that big, bright smile of joy and connection when the moment calls for it. She rests when she needs to rest. My sister Susan said, she's giving us yet another lesson, a lesson in how to, in the graciousness and beauty of the end of life and how to live that way, how to have joy even at the end of life. And so I say to all of us, let's extract that joy by offering gratitude for what is right here, for each other, for this moment. I created Dreamleapers Inspiration a couple of weeks after COVID because people were feeling the need to connect. And I started doing this every day for a couple of months, then we moved to once a week. Please share with your friends. Tell your friends to tune in on Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern. We go for about a half hour. They're all available on my website, harrietcole.com. Let's share this love with other people. The broadcast doesn't go away. If you want to share this with others, just send them to the website and it's there. We owe it to ourselves to connect, to share our love and joy and inspiration so that we can be strong through times that feel like a pressure cooker. We don't have to give in to that. You don't have to. You really don't. I have Michael's here from Yonkers. Kim Glover says she needed this today. Me too. Me too. That's the reason why. Oh, look. Saw this same joy with my mom. The best lesson learned and source of strength every day. Yeah, it's I don't know, guys. It's just now is the time to love each other, to hug each other, to share our joy, to say it out loud that I'm grateful for you. And so all of you who are here, I am grateful for you. Share this joy with others. Please let more people know about Dreamleapers Inspiration. It's here for us to give ourselves the biggest hug and share that love with others. Yeah, right before we go, let's see what other folks are saying. So many people lack empathy, yes, but we don't have to. I always try to compliment people. Oh, Lorraine says, we work together at Essence. I love it. My mother said, you better treat people well because you never know when you're going to come back into each other's lives. Now is a time for us to come back into each other's lives, to share our joy, to tap into our gratitude, to let people know that we love them. This is a time to love fiercely, to love ourselves and love others. It is essential. So please do. Please, please do. So you guys, I don't want to disconnect. Do you feel that way? My heart is full. I hope your heart is full too. Thank you so much for being together in this way. And I just want to offer all the love of my heart to you. Please share your love with others. Please let folks know about Dreamleapers Inspiration. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.